Hi everyone, my name is Alperen Cevahiroglu, and this is my third year in computer science and engineering. And I want to talk about a subject that I think all programmers should know. So, if you are planning to make a career from coding, you will use this no matter what. It would be better if you have at least an idea with the subject, and I'm talking about Git and GitHub. So first, I want to talk about the difference between Git and GitHub. Git is a version control system. It helps you to track changes in your code base. For example, you can revert back to previous versions easily with Git. It operates locally on your computer, which means you don't need a connection to a certain server to keep track of your own code. It has lots of issues like that. Uh, on the other hand, GitHub is a platform built around Git. It has all features that Git has and extras. Basically, it allows programmers to work together. Yeah, GitHub allows you to store your repositories on its servers, which makes it easy to share code with other programmers. I think you can now understand why I told you first that it's something essential if you are planning to have a career with coding. And it also provides a web interface to view file changes, which is, like I said, it helps you to work with other programs. Will have to work with other programmers in their career. Even if you manage to not work with other programs, it will help you with your own code when you have bugs that you don't have time to fix. But you have to keep the server alive in order to not upset customers. Even if you manage that, you know, without Git, why would you? The first time that I met with Git, it was in my, end of my first year. I was doing a volunteer internship, and that was the time that I met with Git. In my first year, we didn't use Git, but it will be much more easier for us to work with Git in order to keep track of our own code. Like we have little projects, little homeworks. They are too little for the computer, computer science, at least at the start. But even with Git, it will lot more easier. It will get a lot more easier for you. I want to talk about coding process before Git. Before version control systems, developers didn't have a good way to collaborate on their code. So it was pretty hard to work on the same code. They used mails, disks, USB sticks, etc. The result of this was the being able to work with small teams and working in different parts of the system. Since in today nowadays, people work in larger teams. Result of this is the communication, and GitHub is a thing that increases the communication level, the quality of the communication. Actually, we can't say the Git is the first version control system. Programmers used to use something called Bitkeeper before Git, which was free to use for a point, but then because of copyright problems, they put a price to it. After that, Linux development community and Linus Torvalds, who is the creator of the Linux, started to develop their own tool. They took lessons from Bitkeeper and tried to make a system which is fast, simple, fully distributed, and able to handle the larger projects. Which these targets they made Git in 2005. No, actually, this shows how important the community for computers, because we can say the main reason the Bitkeeper is not used anymore is the community. If you don't care about the programmer community, they will come up with a better system and change the whole thing. After that, in 2008, GitHub platform was released by Tom Preston Warner, Chris Warnstrad, PJ Cat, and Scott Jason. With the birth of Git and GitHub, now there's a free-to-use version control system. So people are free to create larger projects without collaborating concerns. And this helped programs community to develop, and now with these upgrades we have much more better applications, software systems, etc. If you want to use Git, you don't need much to know about, but a little bit coding knowledge would make it easier for you to use it, since it is primarily used via the command line interface. Understanding how to navigate and execute commands and knowing basic commands in a terminal like ls and make here will give you more control. But you already started having computer science lectures, so you will understand the basics of it as soon as you start to use it. And a little bit spoiler to you, your lectures will want you to use it. in order to keep track of your process in your project. And Git has a little something called blame, which shows how much you contributed to code, what you wrote, what your other team workers wrote. So you will use it. Yeah, you will very use it. Almost every platforms and IDs. There are some exceptions, which is very old operating systems, many embedded systems, proprietary or niche operating systems, and highly restricted or secured environments. And there are some IDs which don't support Git, which are idle, the default Python ID, BlueJ designed to teach Java, and CodeBlocks. It has external tools for version control. And the best thing installing Git is super easy. While it has some downloading links on their website, you can use command prompt to download it. After downloading, you don't, actually you need to do a little configuration in order to associate with them to your commits. And all the IDs, they are all coming with Git downloaded inside of them. So you will use the IDE to, communicate with the Git and the GitHub and do commits. While I mentioned from commits, let me explain terms for a Git a little. First of all, repository is a directory containing all your project files and the complete changes made to those files. We have clone, which is a copy of a remote repository on your local machine, which you can work on independently. We have commit, which is a snapshot of changes made to the files in your repository. Each commit has a unique identifier. For example, if your other team workers made a commit, you will see it, and Git will allow you to see the changes, the exact changes they made, and it will help you to work efficiently. We have branch, which is a parallel version of your repository. You can work on different branches to manage different features or versions simultaneously. All the big companies have lots of branches, like for example, you are working on the test environment and you are trying to do some testing code, and you open a new branch and you will work independently. After that, you can check your branch without touching the original code. Since the system needs to work, you won't touch the system, you won't bug the system if you have bugs, so it will help you more. Other that, we have remote, which is a version of your project that is hosted on the internet or another network. The most common remote is origin, typically pointing to a Git hosting service like GitHub. We have merge comment, which is the process of integrating changes from one branch to another, like I mentioned before. And we have pull request, which fetches changes from a remote repository and merges them into your current branch. Like I said before, if there's a branch that's something, your some other teamwork made changes and you need to have that changes, you will use pull request. And we have push request, which is the request that sends your local commits to a remote repository, which will make your teamwork see your comments, see your changes. In conclusion, Git is a very programmer friendly version control system. In my opinion, it is one of the most important things for a programmer to know. Knowing how to use Git, how the system works, will help you in your career. I wish I knew it before, because in my first internship, it was a volunteer internship, at the end of my first year. It took me a while to understand the system, because I have never seen something like that. And when I saw people working like that, it was a little shocking for me. So it took time for me to get used to it. But after getting used to it, it is so much easy to use, and it will help you a lot. And now in our projects, I have different projects that is going on right now. We all use Git in them. So that's it. Thank you for listening to me. I wish you all a very good, computer science life. See you later.